RedZoneSports.Bet, the British home of American sports.
Hello and welcome to the Sports Heads. We're going to take a look at some of the big games upcoming for Week 13 of the 2017 season. I'm Simon Millen from Lindy Sports UK, and I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Cecil Martin and Matt Phillips of 40yardscouting.com. Have a look at that site, great site, give you some really good insight into what players are coming through and who will be making an impact in the NFL next season. Welcome to have you along, guys. Great stuff. Thank you. Minnesota Vikings at Atlanta Falcons. It's probably one of the biggest games of the week. Falcons have won 4 of the last 5. Minnesota have won the last 2 meetings. They're on a 7-game winning streak. It's a real tough game to call for me. I don't know what you guys think.
When I look at this, honestly, I look at the Minnesota Vikings receiving core with Adam Thielen and Diggs over the other side. They're playing great ball. Adam Thielen is 3rd in the NFL in yards receiving. And it's all about what they'll be able to do against that Atlanta Falcons secondary. Because that secondary has been playing better. They started off the year kind of rough. Now they're playing a lot better. But what's funny is what Julio Jones is doing right now, which we talked about before, the secondary with the Minnesota Vikings aren't saying to themselves, we're scared. They're looking at chops to say, he ain't doing 250 on us. He ain't doing 150 on us.
You just got to limit him, haven't you?
That's
going to be the key, isn't it? You feel that's going to be the key. Because obviously the tape in the secondary room this week is going to be all about how we stop this guy.
But for me, Matt Ryan seems to have found his rhythm.
Yeah.
I think that's a big key to this. Steve Spagnuolo, the offensive coordinator, has basically started to get to grips with what's required there, because there was, when he first came in, there was talk about him sort of changing the whole playbook and blowing it up. But it's basically the same system as they were using before.
The system that makes Ryan who he is and help them get to a Super Bowl, albeit struggle when they got there.
Talking about Steve Sarkisian, not Steve Spagnuolo.
No, it's all good. But I mean, so the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan, he's played great ball, and when they talked about him changing the playbook and all that, maybe there were some things he was going to be doing that wasn't going to suit to Matt Ryan's strengths.
Now, one thing that gets sort of lost is Case Keenum. 70% of his passes in the last 3 games completions. I mean, that's a phenomenal, and it's not just sort of dink-dunk stuff. It's 9 yards a throw he's averaging.
You seem to get more, the game sort of slowed down for him, isn't it, from when he first came in the season. More comfortable, but something kind of old-fashioned view, I guess. But when you look at Atlanta, 7-4, they've got this kind of ominous, the quarterback-wide receiver duo going here. It's looking a bit ominous to the rest of the NFC South, which is, for me, is the best division in the country right now. It's kind of win now, isn't it, for Atlanta? They need to win this one. Minnesota are going to win their division. I mean, that's pretty much set. The gap is too big now. So it's kind of,
but Atlanta's got a brutal schedule there. I mean, the schedule is not exactly downhill, is it?
But they know what to do, don't they? It's kind of that thing, we need to win this game. This is a big game with the competition they're facing in the division. Minnesota would like to win, but they've got that, like as Cecil was saying earlier, you can kind of, maybe human nature, relax a little bit. We're going to win this division.
I think it's the defensive. And the thing with Minnesota for me, it's not necessarily the wide receivers and such. It's the defensive line just sets the tone every week. I mean, they're doing it without blitzing. So that is probably for me the best defensive line.
Well, then who do y'all think gonna win? Who do y'all think gonna win?
That's my question. That's my question to you.
I think
are you just pondering this in your mind?
Yeah, I'm pondering this whole situation because you guys are, I thought I had an answer for you, and then I was listening to you, and you were making sense, and then you start throwing out some nuggets, and I'm like, hold on.
I never make sense,
So now I just turned into a viewer. I just want to know who y'all think is gonna win.
Matt, you're the expert.
I've got Atlanta.
You got Atlanta?
Yeah, it's a must-win for them.
Okay, see?
I'm a Midwest boy. I got to go with my Minnesota Vikings. I got the feeling that they're going to put a whooping on them boys that Atlanta ain't seen in a long time. No, hey,
I think it's going to be right.
No, I have nothing to back it up because these are both great teams, and I think they both going against knowing that they're going, knowing that they're going against a powerhouse, another team. They both want it so badly for the speed at which they want to finish the regular season with, and the solidifying to anyone what kind of a team they really are.
If it's one game this week, it's the game that I'm going to watch anyway. I think it's.
My feeling is who's pushing the Vikings. Whereas the Falcons, they're being pushed hard by the other two teams.
Yes, they are.
That's fair enough.
There's good enough pressures on the Falcons. I'm with you. I'm a
Falcons guy. I'm going to go with Falcons. All right, Carolina, another massive game in this, out of the same division. Carolina at the New Orleans Saints. I mean, it's a Cam versus Cam, isn't it?
It is.
Cam Newton.
But it's
Cameron Jordan.
Yeah, but it's what Cam is doing with this kid, Christian McCaffrey. This young man, he started off a little slow, but if I'm not mistaken, he's leading the NFL with receiving yards out of the backfield. They're putting the boy in the slots. I mean, he's making big plays right now, which is beautiful. Obviously, we love Cam. Oh, Cam.
We
love him.
Cam is not doing as well as I'd expect him to. I think there's an issue here.
It's which Cam are we going to get?
Yeah.
And also I think the thing with Carolina, they got the number 3 in the country against the rush, number 6 against the pass. Okay, so
but they're not creating turnovers. This is they should 10 turnovers all season.
But I like how they match up with the Saints. I really do. One thing that would twist it over the edge to me would be if you had Benjamin was still on the roster and Greg Olsen, because I think with when you're missing guys like Lattimore.
Well, how much exactly? I mean, how much is that an issue, losing Calvin Benjamin?
That is massive. It would have been great. It would have been great for them. They've lost Ken Crawley and Marshall Lattimore.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
He set the tone of that defense.
But you said leaning towards me. Does that mean that meaning you're a Carolina Panther fan? That you would have been going for Carolina?
I'm going for Carolina in this one. I'm going to nail my opinions to the post
because of the cornerback situation.
I like the
they've lost Crawley.
I'm sit on the fence and really but I like the matchup here.
They've lost Crawley.
I wish that Carolina still had that deep threat.
There's a I mean, there's a possibility that Lattimore may come back. He had his foot in a walking boot the other day, so it's a possibility. He's still going to have a bum ankle. But the big miss is actually Crawley. We didn't sort of talk about that last week, or maybe we should have done, because they were down to the. Yeah, he is very underrated. Yeah, but also the fact that Okafor brings the pass rush, and it's going to be left to Cameron Jordan, who seems to be doing a fantastic job on his own, to be fair.
Yeah.
But likewise, I mean, where's the receiving threat for Carolina? I mean, they've got a couple of injuries.
I think
they've allowed 100-yard. What worries me about Carolina is they've allowed 100-yard rushes in consecutive games. The defense seems to me to be getting a little bit worn down, basically because it's not happening on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, and I was about to allude to that the power of the running game for the New Orleans Saints, along with a solid passing game, great passing game. I mean, it's going to be tough for the Carolina Panthers to kind of deal with.
They've got to make the Saints one-dimensional.
Pound attack, and with that play action going up in the air off of the run. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough.
I think it's all about the speed of the linebacking core that you've got in Carolina, because to me, the way that Kamara wins in college and Tennessee and now is in the flats. Okay, when he gets the ball in the flat, then he's got that juke move, that quick, sudden sidestep. Can Kuechly, Thomas Davis, can they get out to the perimeter quick enough, and can they keep themselves clean? Because if not, then...
Are you asking me that question, or are you going to tell me the answer to that question?
I'm going to tell you the answer.
Good. That's here.
I think they're going to scheme. I think they've got the speed on defense to reach the perimeter, and I don't think you can really keep Kamara too quiet. He's still going to.
Well, it depends if they give him the ball, because they hadn't been giving him the ball up until the last couple of weeks.
No, especially not rushing.
Yeah, but they give the ball to Ingram, and they put the ball in the hands of the other guy.
Yeah.
So you're going for Carolina, Matt?
I'm going for Carolina. Yeah, just on the matchup.
New Orleans. I'm going with the Saints.
We're both going for the Saints. We're both going for the Saints.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a cracking game. Another interesting sort of game: the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Steelers are, on a nice little roll, nice off schedule, and they are giving up far too many big plays. Yeah. What's that about?
Yeah, well, it's strange really, because for once they've got a pass defense, Steelers.
Except for the fact
Yeah,
and
of course.
it all seems to fall apart.
I do like that defense. So the big plays are a bit of a question mark. Because always the question I have with the Steelers is, particularly with Ben Roethlisberger, what can he do it on the road? Because at Heinz Field he looks unstoppable at times, as does the offense. They've shown they can do it without Smith-Schuster this week as well.
True, but he's got a bit of a hamstring, but possibility that he's going to come back. But nice to see Martavis Bryant coming back as well. He seems to have stepped up into that role after having a bit of a paddy earlier on in the season. Maybe he has grown up, maybe he hasn't.
I think the rookie's really pushed him.
Yes, exactly. Steelers have won the last 5 meetings. They've won 8 of the last 9. They've also won the last 4 in Cincinnati. So for me, the Roethlisberger thing, winning in Cincinnati, maybe it's not such an issue. It's another similarly cold weather type thing. But don't sleep on the Bengals because they're starting to come onto a little bit of a roll now.
Look, Andy Dalton is playing good ball, and Joe Mixon, the running back, is really coming into his own. I mean, he's playing a lot better right now, which is really going to open up some lanes for Dalton. But I think you're right.
They've still got to play the Vikings and the Ravens. So this, for now, if you're Cincinnati, you're already in playoff mode. You cannot afford to.
I mean, if you're Cincinnati, you're because this is a rivalry. This is still a rivalry game, you know.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers, the last 9.
That's
no rivalry season.
Yeah, but anything can happen in a rivalry. I mean, look, we have a rivalry at Wisconsin with the Minnesota Vikings, and we fight over an axe. And even though they ain't got the axe in a long time, it's still, we got to have our mind right.
You mean the Gophers?
Slip one in there. Yeah, I mean the Minnesota Gophers. You know what I mean? Yeah. We play for the Paul Bunyan axe.
That's the one.
But Le'Veon Bell caught 12 balls last week, and we already know the man can run the ball. And now you're getting him out into the perimeter and throwing him the ball out now. I mean, this team is getting hot at the right time and allowing their weapons to get right at the right time. Because when you're watching film with them, now you don't know what to, you feel like you know what Le'Veon Bell is, right? And you already know you got to deal with Roethlisberger and you got to deal with Antonio, right? And then you got Martavis. But when you start thinking about, wait a minute, whoa. Le'Veon Bell can catch 12 balls out of the backfield on me like that? That's potent.
I think the interesting key for me in this game is the Bengals are surprisingly number 5 in defense against the pass, and number 28 against the rush.
Because that one reflects the other, so we just know we're just going to run and we're going to run and we're going to run.
So they're going to be exploited.
We know what the game plan is.
That's interesting.
And also, Cameron Hayward's got to go to the Pro Bowl. He's just really doing the business up front, in that 3-4 defense where the linebackers make all the sacks, but he's the guy up front making all the pressure, making it easy for the guys on the back end who are still messing up.
Just to make sure I'm not sitting on the fence again here.
You're allowed
for
to
the
sit on the fence.
Steelers, not because you said.
Oh, you're
I've
going
gone for the Steelers because I just think the Bengals are on the outside looking in, and even with Pittsburgh, they know they're going to win. They're going to win the division. I just think, even with Big Ben not being so good on the road.
Not a letdown for me. It could be a little bit of a banana skin this one, but I'm still going with the Steelers.
No, I like it. No, you mentioned the Pro Bowl, and I just wanted to put it out there, that just like we can vote on the Hall of Fame, we can also vote on the Pro Bowl. If anyone would like to add us to that, just letting you know.
Is that the voting system where everyone just votes on their own team?
It does
I think the players vote, and then the coaches vote, and then the media votes, right?
Yeah,
is it a combination?
Right.
Or
you've got the NFL.com one.
Anyway, talking of Pro Bowl, how many Pro Bowlers from the Eagles are going? They're playing at the Seattle Seahawks at the weekend. Sis, you've got to have a view on this one.
Of course. I mean, we're going to go in there and we're going to win. And Carson Wentz is going to play great ball. LeGarrette Blount is going to run the ball down their throat. And Jay Ajayi, the London boy, is going to get some carries.
Don't mention Jay Ajayi.
Yeah, got to mention Jay Ajayi.
Outrageous. You can't do that.
But I also got to mention my man Corey Clement. He is a University of Wisconsin alum. Grew up in the Philadelphia land area, Jersey area.
One team with a winning record you've beaten, your Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, look, but hey, the W's a W. See, there's no asterisk next to a W.
I'm trying to figure that was
Panthers. That was the Panthers.
Are you trying to bring me back down to? You trying to ground
I'm just
me?
Saying,
you're trying to ground me.
Yeah,
you want to make sure I don't fly too high.
I've got a buddy.
I appreciate that.
I've got a buddy, Tim Cole, in the States. He used to play as a striker for me, and I was a guy that used to give him all the football when he used to get all the glory and whatever else. He's a massive, rabid Philadelphia Eagles fan. So send Tim Cole some love.
I'll send him some love. What's his name?
Tim Cole.
Tim Cole.
Super striker.
Super striker.
Yeah, but he's a super striker. But he was basically saying that Philadelphia are, by far and away the best team in the NFL at the moment. But my thinking is you've got to take you got to take some shots, and this is one of them coming up in Seattle.
This game could be taking some shots. I mean, when I look at this, the biggest thing for Seattle is their linebacker core slowing down that run. The secondary for Seattle they're kind of hurting a little bit. Yeah. I mean, lost two main leaders, and so it's going to be tough. But they have a chance if their linebackers can be free to run around and they can slow down the Eagles' run, then it's up to the secondary to play out of their mind. And can they do it? Yeah, but will they? Probably not.
I just love it with the Eagles. I just love, obviously the NFL is always about balance, having a balanced team. It's never about the quarterback as much as people want to believe. The thing I like about the Eagles is on offense, they've got, I've just written here, 358 passes this season, 349 rushes. So I love the balance there. They're not relying on any one superstar.
Unlike Seattle, whose 80% of their offense is coming through Russell Wilson, and the other,
he's leading the team in rushing.
All right. On the flip side of that, their running backs have scored 1 touchdown all season. Yeah. It's crazy.
I think he's got like 6 or something. 5 or 6.
So he is their running guy. So basically, the game plan is pretty simple if you're Philadelphia, is it not?
Yeah.
You stop Russell Wilson.
Stop Russell and get the game.
You keep him in the pocket.
Yeah.
Easy, isn't it?
I said those two defensive ends there for the Eagles. They've just got to be really disciplined and have that physical edge to keep him in the pocket, which he won't like. There's no reason why they can't, the Eagles, because they are the number one defense. I've always been a big fan of their defense over the last few years. Obviously, they've got the offense to go with it now.
What I like about them is they're not playing down to their opponent's level, much like Pittsburgh seem to do.
Yeah.
You had to get that in there.
They get in there. Well, Pittsburgh sort of, they tend to, they'll beat the good team or play a good game against the good team.
No, you're right.
And they drop against the, Green Bay. You can't say Green Bay are a good team without your man at quarterback.
Yeah,
got Brett Hundley at quarterback, and they squeak past them.
Yeah.
Another key too, Seattle, 109 penalties on offense already this season.
Wow.
So the Eagles are going to have a field day.
Do you think so? Well, they've lost the last 2 trips to Seattle, and I think they've lost 5 out of 6 overall. So they're possibly a bit of a bogey side, Seattle, for the Eagles. But we'll see.
It's always tough on the road there, isn't it?
Oh,
and also, Seattle have to win. They're game back from the Chargers, from the Rams. The pressure's on them more so than the Eagles, but maybe the Eagles can relax, and they've got a chance to, if they win, they're in the playoffs, or if Dallas loses. Yeah. So it could be a great day for them. 10 wins in a row.
Yeah. The Eagles are working for that bye though. Even though they're looking far, but because they know, but they want that bye.
Great third down defense as well. That's the important thing. Play with 6 DBs. They're just great. I mean, we love the Eagles. We love the Eagles. We're on the Eagles bandwagon.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles.
He can spell as well as count. That's
bang, bang, bang.
I think that'll wrap it up for this part of the show. We're going to let Cease go, and we're going to have a word with Warren Lambias, and he's going to bring in his knowledge of the betting to the next part of the show. We're going to take a look at some games from a betting point of view. Cease, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man.
Thanks, Cease.
And thank all of you.
Keep in touch. We're going to have a look at the betting.
RedZoneSports.Bet, the British home of American sports.
Hi, welcome back to the Sports Heads. I'm Simon Millen from Lindy Sports. We're in the studios of RedZoneSports.Bet, and I'm delighted to be joined by Warren Lambias, who's the co-founder of this great betting firm, and also Matt Phillips from 40yardscouting.com. Welcome, gentlemen. We're going to go through some betting.
I've got to say, first of all, how excited I am to be, Cecil Martin's been yanked from the game and they've put me in. I mean, I think that, first of all...
Well, what are we, the New York Giants?
We're going, that's it. We're going somewhere. And secondly, I think the first time in the history of the show, we've got a proper Deep South beard on the show with Matt's beard. I mean, okay, he's from Portsmouth, he's not from Deep South of America, but the beard is looking authentic. It's given us an air of...
It's amazing what you can find on the practice squad. I was delighted to be elevated this week.
Warren's delighted to be elevated at any time.
Yeah, that's it. I've got my chair up as high as it goes, so there we go.
All right, let's crack through some of these games then this week, the betting angle. Kansas City Chiefs are 3.5-point favourites as they head to the New York Jets. Warren, you got a view on this game?
Yes, and it opposes yours. So I know for a fact that you're going to pick the Chiefs. I'm picking the Jets. I know you're a Chiefs fan as well, Matt. Indeed. So I apologise for this, but I think the Chiefs are struggling all over. They've lost momentum. It's starting to feel like the Andy Reid and the end of the Philly era. At the moment, I just can't see what they're doing on offense that is going to particularly scare the Jets. And the Jets in defense aren't bad at all. And I think they're going to be able to cope with whatever Alex can chuck at them. So I think he's going to be fine there, Alex Smith. He's not going to scare the life out of them. I think they'll be able to contain them, and I think they're going to be able to score points to them. I think they'll be able to run on them. I think okay, you're not going to ask McGowan to do too much, but I think the Jets have certainly got enough to win the game, and have got enough to not be beaten by the spread. So that's why I'm picking them.
I thought they were a little bit unlucky, to be fair to them. I thought they were very unlucky to be beaten by the Jags last week. Couple of touchdowns called Panthers. Yeah. 2 touchdowns called back.
Yeah, and also even for those of us who were on the Jets last week against the Panthers, it wasn't one of my picks, I hasten to add.
It was one of mine.
It was one of mine, actually. It was one of my it was. But we got very lucky on that, actually, when you think about it. Because that roughing the passer right at the end as well, the line went to 5.5 on the day and went to 6, and so a lot of people covered their bets. I was getting confused with my own bet and a bet that we had laid against someone else. So I'm not talking about it. So there you go.
Matt, who you got?
I've got the Chiefs, actually, which goes against my kind of feeling last weekend when watching against the Bills. Like I said earlier in the show, the Chiefs really this week have to work on a way to beat soft zone coverage, because teams are now using the Pittsburgh Steelers bluept of actually making the Chiefs play in front of them, which is where normally the run game comes into it. So can the Chiefs get the run game going? In actual fact, the defense looked very good last week against the Bills, who had no slouches in the rushing game. So I think 6 out of 7 times of this matchup that these two teams have covered the spread.
Hang on a minute. This sounds like one of Simon's. Simon loves historical facts.
I didn't see it from
the historical facts mean nothing. No, carry on.
It's the only one I've got. But KC favoured by 3.5 points. Yeah, I'm going to go for a squeaky win. They just need one win.
But a squeaky win, is that going to cover the 3.5 points?
I think it will.
That's it. Is that a Chiefs?
No, it's not.
No, I'm just checking. There's not a big yellow KC on the back of that T-shirt.
That's on this one.
Yeah. Right. That's the tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's. I'm obviously on the Chiefs. Chicago Bears hosting the San Francisco 49ers. The Bears are 3-point favourites. A little bit of money this week for San Francisco. It was a 3.5-point spread, now into 3. I'm actually on the Bears with this one. Jimmy Garoppolo, came in, threw a touchdown last throw of the game, garbage time last week. The only thing I will say about San Francisco is their fans booing the quarterback who's injured when he's, and that's just classless as far as it goes. But that, that's a side issue. I fancy the Bears. I think their running game would be too strong.
I disagree. What a surprise. I think Garoppolo is going to give them all a lift. I think suddenly all the players on that team will feel like, okay, right, I'm playing for next season. That's what they're playing for. I think the Bears themselves, I was backing the Bears to do better than they had done this season. Trubisky's just sort of, under John Fox as well. It's all very conservative. It'll be run heavy, but I think that I don't see the 49ers being blown away by the Bears, because the Bears couldn't blow anyone away at the moment. And I think that in Garoppolo, they've got something that maybe they can work with. Maybe they're going to be able to score some points. I've got 2 bets in this. I think I've gone for the over as well, and so I'm quite liking it to be a bit of a to and fro game. But I think actually with what I saw, it was garbage time. He came in at garbage time, but the fact that he was able to do that will give everybody from the offensive lineman to the wide receivers to everyone will just suddenly go, oh, hang on a minute, we've got a chance in this game. Now maybe it will evaporate as the game goes on, but I think they will start the game with a spring in their step. What I will say is, the Bears were embarrassed last week, and they're also going to have a point to prove.
Things are going to be blown up at the end of the season. We know. I think John Fox is a goner. I think
that's harsh on him personally, but I
some of the coaching decisions I've found really strange, as we've been through in an earlier show. But obviously things are going to change in Chicago. There's going to be a coaching opportunity there. Yeah. Matt, who have you got in this game?
I've got the 49ers as well. I agree with Warren totally. I just think that they've been given an impetus at the right time. They were looking for something to build the team around. They've been showing, green shoots of hope for next year. It just feels like with them, what happened last week with Garoppolo is that they, instead of waiting to 2018 for their kind of rebirth, if you like, they're actually kind of starting that now. And those guys are going to be playing for next season. They've got their quarterback.
So why is that different from Geno Smith being brought in New York?
Because Garoppolo is somebody who's vastly more talented than Geno Smith or whatever it was coming out of West Virginia. And obviously he fits into that Shanahan offense perfectly. And they've been waiting for the right moment to put him in. This is actually sort of happened by proxy. I just think it's a great fit for them. That's going to be their future. I just think like the rest of the team kind of is going to feed off that confidence.
I also think that the fact that Shanahan is revered as this great offensive coordinator, and they weren't planning to use Garoppolo. He was obviously just in there looking at the playbook. They've been talking. Suddenly, there's no pressure on them whatsoever. They've got someone coming in. If he loses the game, if it goes slightly wrong, then that's what he wasn't meant to be playing yet. So I think I think Shanahan's handled it brilliantly, and the opportunities come in. He took it by the scruff of the neck last week. Okay, it was garbage time, but it was still a great throw, I thought. And he showed poise in a pocket that that is barely there. You know what I mean? So I think it's. I'm with you, Matt. I think
I just wonder whether or not they don't want to win too many more games, bearing in mind looking at the draft situation.
I'm not sure the NFL thinks like that.
I agree.
Nobody really knows if they're going to be back the next season to do that. I mean, I know there's a long-term plan in San Francisco, but you talk about, we talk about a sport where you can be a hero one week and you can be dumped onto the scrap heap the next. I don't think anyone's really looking too far forward, but I just think that they needed something to say, okay, this is where we're starting the rebirth, and with the draft picks they've got coming up, I think they can sort of nail their post.
Colours to the post.
Colours to the post. That's the one.
Yeah, we got that. No,
I run out of superlatives.
I also think that if you say you're the 49ers and you finish the season strongly, okay, you might miss out on the first one or two draft picks, but how often is it the number one draft pick actually sort of is the difference maker? And secondly, when you're looking at free agents and when he's actually breaking down that team to start again, suddenly people see you've got a bit of momentum at the end of the season with San Francisco. They're going to be more likely to want to come to you. Do you know what I mean?
So that's a fair shout. Yeah. Okay. I like a nice big line, as I did with New England last week, which barely covered, but covered nonetheless. You don't want to say anything about that, do you? No, it's fine.
No, you beat me on that. we both went 4-1. So I emailed.
We did actually.
We do our picks on a Tuesday. We email them to each other. Yeah. I went in very strong with Simon and said sort of I got 4-1, boom, and then Simon. I didn't even bother checking Simon's. I'm used to them being losers. And he came back and he said I got 4-1 as well. So yes, you did beat me on that one.
Yeah, you don't check my emails, do you?
Yeah, that's it. We worked that out. Yeah.
Jaguars, 9.5-point favourites hosting the Indianapolis Colts. I've gone with the Jaguars.
And I've gone with the Colts. And this is a running theme for this week. Running being the operative word, because the Colts don't have a great pass defence, but the Jags are trying to do everything they can to stop Blake Bortles having to throw the ball. So it's going to be a run first game. I think Fournette's still a little bit banged up. So that's a little bit of a committee there at the moment. And I'm actually, we were sort of saying this in the office with the clever guys on Sunday that we think that what's his name, the Colts quarterback, name's gone.
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah. Suddenly he looks like a starter. Do you know what I mean? He's grown into being a starter, and so he's even if Andrew Luck comes back, he's going to find a team next year. If Andrew Luck comes back, he's a starting quarterback, and I think there's some improvement there. I think the line is high, and I think that even though you can't throw on the Jags, he can run it as a quarterback. He's a great runner. But they've still got Gore. They've got the rookie in there as well, and I think they're going to be able to score some points as well. So I like them to keep it closer than 9.5. And the Jags. It's a little bit of pressure on the Jags because they are one of the great teams in football at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
But are they going to do what the Jags do? And snatch defeat from the jaws of victory and let the Titans take the division?
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I think that the Jags, considering their talent, particularly on defense, they should have more of a stranglehold on this division, which is not the strongest. And I just think that, I mean, we've seen all season that the Colts are not as bad as it's made out to be. They've been playing teams pretty close. Brissett, as you say, I liked him a lot coming out of NC State, and he's won some big games there. Yeah. So he's no slouch. And they've been sort of written off every week, and they are playing teams close. I like the Jags in this one. That's my pick for this week. But I'm not sure they're going to win by many. They're going to keep it. It's been quite a tight game, this one, I think.
Under 9, then? You think it's going to be? So you're basically backing the Colts on the handicap?
Yeah, okay. I am. I've got a lot. I
like the Colts. Smart money, yeah.
I was going to say I put my faith in Blake Bortles. There's not many sentences.
Hang on a minute.
Come out like that from me.
That's it. Good luck with that one. Well, funny enough, on the Blake Bortles, I'm sure you've covered this in the other show. I've not seen that yet, but you know, I scoffed at the idea that Eli Manning was going to go before McAdoo in New York a few weeks ago, and scoffed at the idea that Eli Manning was going to end up in Jacksonville. Well, do you know what? He might well end up in Jacksonville now, won't he?
Let's hope so. Tom Coughlin connection, obviously.
Yeah.
We have had a long talk about the New York Giants. We're going to talk about them now, just for your benefit, Warren. Giants at the Oakland Raiders. Raiders are 8.5-point favourites. Now that line has moved from 7 before Eli Manning was ridiculously sensationally benched.
I'm glad you've said that, because I
don't think anyone's saying anything different, to be perfectly honest.
It's an absolutely ridiculous move. It goes back to what you were saying before about Geno Smith. We've seen Geno Smith in the league. We've seen what he's done at the Jets. So taking Manning out and putting Geno Smith in makes no sense to me, because it's not like you're having a look at Garoppolo like we're doing now and going, that's going to be your future. We don't know what we're going to get because he's not played enough games in the NFL.
That's been the thing this week, isn't it? We're looking for next season, our future, but Geno Smith is not your future. It's not like you'll move into Davis Webb. So
you have no receivers, you have no running game, you have no offensive line. You have Geno Smith. Good luck with that.
It's a classic case of NFL head coach under massive pressure. It's just, easy target is the quarterback, and the fans always love a backup quarterback. I'm not sure they like this.
I don't think anybody, because I think as hard a market as New York is, I think even when they got rid of Coughlin, there were some people there who felt uneasy about it, and I think whatever the old San Diego fans think of Eli Manning, I think in New York, even though they know he's got his flaws, he is. He's revered. Yeah, he's
given them 2 Super Bowls. Jerry Reese would not have a job if it wasn't for Eli Manning.
Absolutely. He gave him 2 Super Bowls doing things that only Eli does, chucking through down the middle. Do you know what I mean? When no other quarterback would do it. He does it.
He's been treated absolutely abysmally.
And the way they put him out in front of the press as well, I thought that was pretty poor.
No, I don't think. To be fair, I don't think they had to put him out in front of the press. I think he did that. He was asked to do it. Eli would do that. It's in his character to stand up and confront things, and he's just been treated absolutely abhorrently.
I'm not sure how much you can read into that interview with Eli Manning and Giants players laughing in the background. Obviously, it's a locker room, they're not all thinking about Eli Manning, but it doesn't really set a great message. It kind of confirms some of the fears we have about kind of the mess that's going on there.
Okay. So, Raiders hosting the Giants, 8.5-point favourites. The Raiders, I think. They are in must-win mode now as well, the Raiders. Still, they're happy for a week or two. They dealt with the Broncos easily enough.
I think the failings of the Chiefs, have allowed them to claw their way back in. But obviously, we're on the eve now. This is the last game before we get into the AFC West divisional games. So, you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Chargers. Obviously, the Broncos are out of it now. This is a chance to kind of get to the top of that division before everybody kind of plays each other. So,
who you got?
I've got the Raiders.
I'm not betting on this. The line's a little too high for me, but I would be picking the Raiders if you put a gun to my head.
I think everyone would, and it's probably going to be a banana skin. There'll be 7 points, and I'll get done. But that's the way things work in the NFL.
I think McAdoo has completely lost that organisation. Yes. I just think that. I think the backlash that he's had from doing this, it's one thing if the players are with you and go, we're going to show the coach made the right decision. If they all think the coach has made the wrong decision as well, I just think it demoralises an already demoralised bunch. You get
a feeling from their reaction, the players and the whole organisation. It was like, well, it's just another thing in the catalogue of errors for the whole season.
That's it.
This is just the story of the season.
He's brought a whole new meaning to the word big blue. The words big blue. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Ben McAdoo, do me a favour, and I'm hoping the Miami Dolphins, surprisingly, do me a favour this week. They're playing the Denver Broncos. The line's moved. It was a scratch game. It's now Miami Dolphins are 2.5-point dogs. They've got an awful lot of injuries, but I think it's a home game and it's a must-win.
I just want you to know, I think someone's chucked a flag for your McAdoo joke over there. I think that's been
terrible.
It's been chucked. That's it. They're talking about ejecting you out of the game. I think that's it.
It'll be the first time. I've gone with the Dolphins. I just think it's the last throw of the dice for them. They're going to try. Denver have. I don't understand what's going on with the Broncos. I really don't.
I would agree with you, actually. Again, it's not one of my picks, it's one of your picks, but I think Moore showed some signs of life with Miami. I think the whole the whole carousel of quarterbacks in Denver is just made it a joke.
Yeah, it has. And it's a strange thing from, you look at John Elway and the position that he played and the mistakes that they seem to be making.
Well, but the thing is that, John Elway, I thought his handling of Tim Tebow back in the day was poor. Whatever you think of Tim Tebow, he took them to the playoffs, and I just felt that he showed disrespect to Tim Tebow. I know everyone showed disrespect to Tim Tebow, but you say, oh, he did great, he built the team and all that, but he went out and got Peyton Manning. Well, I'm not being funny. I could go and get Peyton Manning and stick him on the team, and probably the team's going to do very well. Thank you very much.
He seems to get. What confused me of John Elway, he seems to get a free pass, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
He's this amazing quarterback guy. Yeah. He can see a quarterback from miles away. But he drafted Paxton Lynch and tried and not playing to his strengths, and they keep putting him out there.
Yeah.
Struggling and bringing him back again, just completely ruining his confidence. I just don't see why other general managers, other coaches seem to get so much flack for what they're treating the quarterback. But you got John Elway. I don't know if it's a smile, I don't know, but it's not no impact on their stability in that position.
You've got to surely, if you, as you say, with Paxton Lynch, if you're putting your quarterback in, you're saying we're going to ride this guy longer than they should have gone longer, and then they got into the whole thing with Brock Osweiler as well. It created a mess, and it created pressure that didn't need to be there. Yeah. Suddenly you were talking about, you had 3 quarterbacks you were talking about. It's unnecessary.
If you're going to bench Simeon, and then you're not going to then go to your...
Which surprised me, actually, because I think he'd been playing that badly.
I think he's the most stable of all of the guys at this time.
I think he had that little shoulder injury, didn't he?
He's won that job twice.
I just think it's strange that what are you saying to your rookie? We're going to bring in Osweiler because we don't think you're ready. Osweiler's not any good, so we're going to bring you in now. So what does that say to your confidence?
It's bizarre, isn't it?
They've not adjusted the play.
I just think the Dolphins' defense has been playing, well enough under extreme duress because they've lost so many players, but they're still playing at a high level. And I just don't think Denver have got the offense.
I think I would be with Miami, especially you're getting 2 points now. So I would go with Miami.
Yeah, same for me too. I think whoever was home in this game would be the victors. If it was in Denver, I think they would sneak it. And I think this is going to be the same other way around.
I can't quite understand. I mean, there must be some injury news that I'm not aware of. But this game was a pick'em game, and now suddenly Denver are 2-point favourites, and I'm struggling to see that myself. I'm going, what have I missed?
It might just be Adam Gase's demeanour every time he goes to a press conference with the cap over his eyes, and I'm not going to peer over this cap. As much as I love Adam Gase, and I think you've got to give him a bit more time. I think he's the right man for the job. I mean, me and Mr. Carlson disagree completely with this, but I still think he is the right man. They've made the right move. This season is a write-off. You've lost your starting quarterback. Yes, you've made a mistake with Jay Cutler, and that's going to continue. But at the end of the year, I think we'll see a few changes. Tannehill will come back from, he's great for a wide receiver playing quarterback. Yeah. I think so, but he did show improvement back in the last season.
So you've got 5 picks. I've got 5 picks. Matt, you've got to decide which one of us you're gonna follow.
I'll go for Miami win on this one. A narrow win.
No, I want to know who you're going to follow out of for the show. Which one's going to win out of us two? That's all
I'm kind of here as the arbiter. I'm sitting on that fence. It's nice and warm and cosy here. So I'm going to stick.
You've not upset anybody. You're not upset anybody. So we're going to get back at some point.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, great. But I also think an important thing to say here as well is that the Denver defense is not as scary as people.
No,
it's not a defense of last season.
You've also lost Aqib Talib.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think that was. I know you've probably done this in the other show, but it was just. I just find it disgusting behaviour by him.
We haven't yet, but we're going to.
Oh yeah, okay. You're doing it in the next show. Oh yeah. Well, I just think to do that twice with his chain is just. You know what? You don't condone people punching people, but you're like. The league mishandled it last time, I felt. So anyway, I'll leave you to do it on the show.
I agree. That's fair enough. You got a point and you got a view, and it's the correct one.
Yeah, and it's my studio.
Exactly. So great stuff. Matt Phillips, thanks ever so much. Great. 40yardscouting.com. We shall be looking at that religiously over the next few weeks to see who we're going to be scouting. Warren Lambias, thanks ever so again.
Matt, I want you to come with an accent next time you come in. I want an accent with a beard. Yeah. Okay. Or we can get someone to dub you in the studio.
Warren,
maybe that's it.
That's the end of the show, mate.
Oh, okay. I'll shut up now. Yeah.
Red Zone Sports co-founder Warren Lambias, thanks for joining us once again, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. Good luck with your bets, ladies and gents, and we'll hopefully see you soon. We are the SportsHeads.
American football and my hot cheerleaders. It'll make you feel like a Yank. RedZoneSports.Bet, the British home of American sports.